Welcome to the Explainer. So, if you're a first-time candidate staring down a stack of 10 massive study books right now, or maybe scrolling through thousands of pages on your screen, let me guess, you might be feeling just a little bit overwhelmed. And honestly, that is completely normal. 10 topics can absolutely look like this giant mountain of disconnected formulas, rules, and theories. But hey, take a deep breath. Today, we're going to completely demystify this whole thing. This explainer is going to serve as your clear, big-picture compass before you even begin your detailed studies. We're going to map out exactly how all of these pieces fit together. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. Welcome to the journey, your curriculum roadmap, thinking for the exam, conquering common challenges, strategies for success, and your next steps. Before we jump in, I really want you to keep this simple mantra in mind. Success is a journey, not a sprint. You really don't need to memorize every formula today. You just need to understand the map. Lower your cognitive load, trust the process, and know that literally every single candidate before you started exactly where you are right now. All right, Section 1. Welcome to the journey. Let's look at the big picture of CFA Level I. So, before we look at the individual chapters, we really need to understand your overarching goal. Think of the CFA Level I curriculum not as 10 totally separate, intimidating textbooks, but as a single, comprehensive, foundational toolkit. This entire program is designed to teach you how to value financial assets, understand the macroeconomic environments they trade in, manage client wealth effectively, and above all, uphold the strictest standards of professional ethics. That is the core theme. You're basically learning the universal language of finance, so you can make informed, professional investment decisions. Moving right along to Section 2, your curriculum roadmap. I like to call this the building blocks framework. Now, what's really interesting here is that the CFA Institute didn't just throw 10 random topics into a blender. They actually compound on each other, exactly like building a house. Layer 1 is your foundation. You can't value a stock or a bond if you don't have the basic tools, right? First, quantitative methods gives you the mathematical tools, specifically the time value of money, which is the absolutely crucial concept that a dollar today is worth more than a dollar tomorrow. Next, economics explains the broader environment companies operate in, like perfect competition versus monopolies. Then we have financial statement analysis, or FSA. This is the language of business. How do we read an income statement or track cash flows? And finally, corporate issuers shows us how companies actually organize themselves and raise capital to fund their operations. So these 4 topics are your absolute bedrock. Once your foundation is poured perfectly, we move up to Layer 2, the asset classes. Think of this as the walls of your house. It's what we actually invest in. Now you're going to take those foundational tools and put them to work. You'll look at equity, analyzing company stocks and forecasting growth. You'll dive into fixed income, learning how to price bonds and understanding that absolutely critical inverse relationship between interest rates and bond prices. Then things get a bit more complex with derivatives, where contracts derive their value from underlying assets. And finally, alternative investments, which expands your horizon beyond traditional stocks and bonds into real estate, hedge funds, and even digital assets. And finally, we reach Layer 3, the big picture and the rules. This is the roof of your house. Portfolio management teaches you how to take all those individual asset classes from Layer 2 and combine them to optimize risk and return for a client, all while navigating tricky behavioral biases. And sitting right at the very top, protecting the entire structure, is ethics. This isn't just some side topic, guys. The Code of Ethics and Standards of Professional Conduct are the strict rules that govern our behavior as investment professionals. It is literally the protective umbrella over everything you do. Let's see how this actually connects in practice. Consider the workflow for equity company analysis as a metaphor. It moves from understanding past business models to analyzing the competitive industry and finally, forecasting future revenues and capital structures. I really want you to think of this as a metaphor for the entire CFA curriculum. You start with the fundamental past and present facts, your quant and FSA, then you evaluate the broader environment, your economics and industry analysis, and finally, you synthesize all of that to forecast and value assets in the future. It's a continuous, beautifully logical flow from theory to deep applied understanding. That brings us to Section 3, thinking for the exam, moving from theory to professional judgment. Now that you know what's actually on the test, we really need to talk about how the exam tests it. Transitioning your mindset from a passive reader to an active analyst is absolutely key here. There is a massive difference between learning a concept and applying a concept. Learning is just memorizing a formula, like the dividend discount model. And hey, that's a great start, but it won't get you a passing score on its own. The exam tests application. It's going to give you a scenario with changing dividend growth rates and require you to use that model to make a professional judgment on the stock's intrinsic value. You aren't just a calculator. You are an analyst making complex decisions based on data. Let's move to Section 4, Conquering Common Challenges. Let's normalize the struggle, shall we? Look, every single candidate hits a wall with certain topics, and feeling overwhelmed is just part of the process. Whether it's the heavy math and quants or the complex accounting rules, the crucial point is having a solid strategy for those moments. Struggling with fixed income math? Focus on the core logic. As yields go up, bond prices go down. Use flashcards for cementing these key relationships, not just the equations. Are derivatives feeling a little too abstract? Don't just read about them. Actually visualize the contract payoffs. Draw visual mind maps and payoff diagrams. And for that vast ocean of FSA rules, build summary tables to constantly compare and contrast how international IFRS standards and US GAAP standards treat different accounting entries. Empathy for your own learning process is key here. When a topic is tough, just change your angle of attack. Next up, Section 5, Strategies for Success. Time to build a study machine. So, you might be wondering, with 10 different subjects and literally thousands of pages, how do you actually make it all stick in your brain for exam day?
Well, it's not magic, it's methodology. Here is your ultimate cycle of learning. Step 1, always start by grasping the big picture. Before you even read a chapter, know why it matters in the context of that house we're building. Step 2, master the key terms. Remember, finance is a language. Step 3, connect ideas across chapters. How does the macroeconomics chapter affect the equity valuation chapter? And finally, step 4, practice questions relentlessly. Testing yourself is the ultimate memory and retention tool. Please do not wait until the end of your studies to do practice questions. Do them after every single topic to actively lock that knowledge in.
Finally, Section 6, your next steps. Getting ready for page 1. We've covered a whole lot of ground today. You've seen the map, you understand the building blocks, and you have your strategies. Honestly, the hardest part of this journey is simply starting. But think about what we've just done. We've taken a massive mountain and turned it into a series of logical, connected steps. Difficult concepts become remarkably easy when you just take them one step at a time. You are equipped with the right mindset. You are ready. It is time to turn to page 1. I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to ponder as you log off today. What single step will you take today to begin building your financial foundation? Will you review the syllabus? Will you set up your study schedule? Or will you dive straight into quantitative methods? Use this explainer as your compass whenever you feel a little lost in the details. Keep building that house brick by brick. Thanks for joining this explainer, and happy studying.